What's up and welcome back to another video on my channel. In this one we're going to take a look at how to replace rear springs on a Volvo XC70. First step is obviously to raise the car safely in the air and remove the rear wheels. I'm doing this on a lift, but of course you can do it at home in the driveway or in the garage with just a jack and some jack stands. The rear springs are connected to the lower control arm, so if you remove this bolt right here, you can just swing the arm out of the way and remove the spring. The nut on the other side is actually welded on, so there's no need to counterhold that. And with rusty fasteners like this, make sure to always spray them down with some penetrating fluid and brush the threads off with a steel wire brush. It might be difficult to remove the bolt all the way because it binds up in the hole, so with the help of a jack, I'm just putting some weight on the control arm to relieve the bolt. If you're doing this yourself, please note the orientation of all of the mounting accessories. It's the same part number for both the left and the right rear spring, however they are mounted with an 180-degree offset in relation to each other. It's a good habit to clean all of the mounting surfaces. The surrounding parts were in good condition, so all I did there was to give them a quick clean and they were good as new, except for a little bit of surface rust. Of course, these parts will get dirty just in a couple of miles of driving the car, but it just feels better to refit clean parts rather than dirty. Make sure that the edges of the spring is up against the groove in the spring seat, both the upper and the lower, and that it is in the right orientation. For the left side, the bottom spring, the edge of the bottom spring is supposed to be facing the front of the car, and the edge of the top of the spring is supposed to be facing the rear of the car. And for the right side, it's the opposite way around. To refit the control arm and to compress the spring a little, you definitely need the help of a floor jack and also some sort of pry bar to get the bushing into its seat. This was probably the most time consuming and the hardest part because it can be quite fiddly to get it to line up perfectly. The bolt came with medium strength Loctite from the factory, so that's exactly what I'm reapplying right here. Whenever you're tightening fasteners that go through a bushing that experience some twisting motion, you should always try to do the final torquing while the car is on the ground, and if that's impossible, you should at least try to put some weight on the control arm so that you would simulate it being on the ground or at normal ride height. Last thing to do is to refit the wheels, take it out for a test drive, and to see if everything still looks okay. In other words, check to see if the springs still are seated in the right position. If you guys think it was a good video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, and until next time, have a really good one.